Hello, welcome to Integrative Mystic. Thank you so much for joining me. I invite you to take a deep breath, connect with your heart wisdom, connect with me in this space. We are going to explore getting unfrozen today. I was inspired for today's podcast message to explore a theme I've been seeing with my clients, a theme of feeling stuck, of trying hard to achieve something, and yet things are still stuck, things are still frozen, as well as spirit inspiring me to contemplate the wisdom of the glacier, which is really the wisdom of nature. How are the two related? We will explore and find out in today's episode. Yay! I am excited to explore that with you, my friend. And of course, at the end, I'm going to tune into the collective energy and pull some cards for the week ahead. So let's get started. Like I said, I'm noticing a theme among my clients. Is this happening with you? You have dreams, goals, visions. You're trying to take action steps forward. And for whatever reason, you're feeling confused. You're feeling frustrated. You're feeling stuck. Things are not moving forward for whatever reason. And it doesn't seem logical. There's a number of reasons why anyone might feel stuck, where they might feel their dreams are frozen. And we do live in a world that is very volatile with many different streams and channels of energy going this away and that away. And yet there are universal truths that are still constant and still stable and strong and operating. We're going through a huge transformation in consciousness and humanity on the earth right now. A glacier melting comes to mind. And I'm not talking about global warming, although that's a whole other episode that does deserve exploration and some TLC and thoughtfulness. I want to appreciate glaciers in a different way today. I want to talk about glaciers as a role model. Glaciers over thousands of years, tens of thousands of years or more, have slid down and flowed down very slowly mountains and create a large part of the landscape here on Earth. They create ridges and mountains, they create deeper valleys, they polish rock, they move an incredible amount of sediment from different parts of the mountain to other parts in the landscape, creating fertile soil there. They even move gargantuan boulders. Sometimes you see a boulder just in the middle of a field. How did that get there? It could be from a glacier. It's very likely, I'm going to say. I'm not a geologist, but my understanding is that's one of the main ways large boulders get moved into unexpected places. Glaciers are part of our current landscape. Their process of moving from the higher altitudes and flowing very slowly down the mountain, picking up sediment and rocks as they flow. That's part of what has created beautiful landscapes on our planet. And I feel that process is a metaphor that is a channel for learning that Spirit wants to teach us through. We have a part of us that knows how to create the landscape of our life. In the I-Ching, the ancient Chinese divinatory system, the ancient Chinese book of changes, one of the hexagrams, it's one of the it's one of the oracle messages that you can pull is the creative force. The opposite of the creative force is the receptive force. And it's not pulling, it's you throw sticks in traditional I Ching. So I'm not saying that 100% accurately, but you can you can work with the messages of the I Ching, and in that system, there's the yang, there's the yin. It's all about a play between yin and yang. It's heavily influenced by Taoism. And in the tarot, Western divination system, there's the yang emperor and the yin empress. Some people believe the yang magician and the yin high priestess. You see the yin and the yang in the tarot as well. And what wants to come through today is recognizing the wisdom of the receptive, the wisdom of the empress, the wisdom of nature. We live in a culture and a time in which the magician and the creative have been and are a little bit more or a lot more valued and emphasized than the empress, the receptive. A lot of our challenges have to do with getting tripped up in our analytical mind, which is more of the yang creative force. That's the initiator, that's the taking action, that's the logic, action, movement, putting it forward, making it happen, creative initiatory force, the emperor, the organization, the father, the yang. The empress is connected, not exactly equals the receptive hexagram in the I Ching, but there's an archetype here. The yin, the feminine, the intuitive, the allowing, the emotional, the yielding and holding force. So we have this part of us that knows how to shape the landscape, that knows how to move mountains, and that knows how to master what we set out to do. We definitely need our analytical mind and that creative force. We also need to be able to call upon and shift into our receptive force, our receptive consciousness. And that's what humanity is doing right now. We're shifting from the masculine to the feminine. We go through these cycles in very, very long chunks of time. And now we're shifting to a more feminine state of consciousness. And so being able to integrate that into your own process is very likely going to be helpful for you. I also want to suggest the Earth's landscape is not formed in a day. Those glaciers take thousands of years to form all of the valleys and the ridges and the peaks on those mountains and be part of what forms the Great Lakes and rivers and the very, very long period of time, the stability of those landscapes. It is connected with a very, very long time of natural processes happening. Are you giving yourself enough time and patience for whatever it is that you are wanting to create in your life? Are you being impatient with yourself? Are you expecting to make progress that is maybe unrealistic or out of balance? Considering your personal energy and life and the context of your life, we need to take a page from the Glacier's book and remember that things often happen piece by piece over time, meter by meter. That glacier is slowly flowing down that mountain, and piece by piece, things are happening as we take baby steps forward. So don't self-sabotage and expect to create your creation, to manifest your goals, dreams, and visions, if what is really needed is a co-creation of one step after the other over a period of time, maybe days, weeks, months, maybe years, maybe a lifetime, maybe several lifetimes. That's not what you wanted to hear, but I heard one psychic put it this way: if you manifest something quickly without putting in the needed effort and infrastructure, you could manifest something with a shoddy foundation that's just not going to last. But if something needs a substantial foundation, then we co-create that and build that over time. And it's a much more stable foundation to whatever it is that we're co-creating. Here's another little note I have written down when I was speaking with Spirit before this taping. When faced with a challenge and you feel stuck or your dreams are frozen, release expectations of what you thought the final result or your process to create that result looks like. Release your expectations of what that final result looks like or what you thought the process would look like. And this can help to unfreeze and melt and hasten things to move forward. Instead of constantly leading with your problem-solving mind, instead of constantly activating that analytical, what do I need to do? How can I fix this problem? Part of your psyche, which is an important part. That's more of the creative, that's more of the emperor part of consciousness. Instead of leading with that, allow that to be in service to the intuitive wisdom, the flash of insight, your yearning of your heart and soul. Allow the analytical mind to be a part of the support system for that. And so allow that intuitive knowing and that intuitive part of you to know how to move forward. I'm not forming a great sentence here, so I'm going to start over. Allow that part of you that knows how to move forward intuitively to be the bridge, to bridge the gap, and allow that intuitive knowing to unfold movement forward, not with force, but with this wisdom and mysterious flow, creating a landscape by being the receiver, not the doer, creating a beautiful landscape in your life, a beautiful, magical, joyful landscape. Personal landscapes, personal co-creations, collective community co-creations, not by being the doer, but by being the receiver. Well, how the heck do I do this, Anne? That sounds great, but how do I do it? I can't stop my mind. I can't stop doing. I can't stop trying to solve a problem. How do I let the glacier melt, whatever it is that you're trying to say, Anne? Well, friend, it's a good question. First of all, intentions are so powerful. So empowerful. They're empowerful and empowering and powerful. Set your intention. By setting your intention, in my opinion, you're calling both upon the creative and receiving, the yin and the yang. You set your intention and you let it go. You tune in to and reflect upon what it is that in your higher mind, in your heart and soul, you want to create, you want to manifest. And after being receptive to that prayer, after being receptive to that ask, you receive. And now we can set our intention. Setting your intention is the yang, putting it out there, being clear, saying it, writing it, thinking it. And by setting your intention, you also invoke the receptive force by letting go. So, what is my dream goal vision? There it is. I set the highest good to be done. I set my intention for the highest good to be done. And keep in mind, you may find as you work with this process that your intention grows and changes. It evolves like a landscape, and what you thought you wanted to create in your life turns into something else. But set your intention and then let it go. Get into a receptive mode. Go for a walk, meditate, journal, do something creative, do something with your body, connect with others and receive help and support. And as you're letting go and cultivating this receptive state in your mind, in your emotions, in your body, in your routine, in the flow of your life, notice what intuitions, inspirations, imaginings you receive in this state. Let the analytical mind be in service for these intuitions. You might also notice that things happen as you set your intention and let go. Envision that glacial river. Envision the movement of that behemoth glacier moving down a mountain naturally. You can feel what that feels like in your body to let something flow. Let something melt too. You can feel it. If you can feel it and imagine it, you're invoking that receptive energy flow. And as you do that, you have now allowed the natural, universal wisdom and forces in the universe to work with you. And you might notice things begin to happen. You get a phone call, you get an inspiration, you get the letter you were expecting, or you get more clarity, you get an idea from a friend, um, you finally figure out how to end that chapter you were writing. You finally figure out, or you finally run across a YouTube video on nonviolent communication and realize, well, that's the key to resolving this interpersonal issue. But as you stay in that receptive state, that's when miracles and magic start to happen. And as you see those things begin to happen, this is a sign for the direction to move into. This is a sign to partner now with what's happening and move forward in the yin yang, emperor, empress, marriage and union and harmony. Many of us use meditation or ritual or prayer to invoke this process. And one way to see this, present company included, one way to see this is in my meditation, ritual, or prayer. I am, especially ritual and prayer, I am calling upon, I'm using my intention, I'm calling upon higher consciousness, my higher power within me, and throughout creation, connecting us all to partner with me in this. And I don't have to do it all. The glacier is part of a consciousness of spirit, a consciousness of the universe. The glacial movement didn't just happen randomly and in no context. The whole design of nature and how things unfold are a are an example of an unfolding of both the creator and the receptive flow that unfolds. So by engaging in prayer or ritual, you have a space and a time to use both to connect with your intention, to take an action, to let go, and to formally be able to align yourself with this process and get the higher awareness that you know is there activated and inviting that to partner with you, allowing that to partner with you instead of just thinking about it. So sometimes we have an insight is just floating above us and doing something, taking an action to invoke what we're talking about, creating that sacred space in order to connect with both the yin and the yang. That can be the grounded action step that actually creates the magical right combination of ingredients that moves things forward. I also just want to remind, I have so many sensitives and intuitives and empaths tuning in. Whether you identify as an empath or a sensitive or intuitive, be sure to cleanse your space. Practice good energy hygiene. I can't say it enough. That has a huge effect on our ability to be present, our ability to be healthy, our ability to create good things in our life and good things on the planet with others. Cleanse your energy regularly, especially if you have a tendency to absorb other people's energy. It is not a, would like to, it's a mandatory need to on the daily. Cleanse your space regularly. Make sure you're practicing energy cleansing for your body and your space on a regular basis. And this can really help in a lot of people's process if they're feeling stuck. It's an example of the idea, the action, and the receptivity. You are taking action to create a body temple and a space that you live in, that you work in, that is can receive the energy and can allow the energy to flow so that you can be a more clear receiver and you can have a more clear body temple and space temple to work your magic. So please cleanse yourself, cleanse your space regularly, do what you need to do. I am now going to transition to the reading for the week ahead. It's exciting. We're in the Lionsgate portal. So stay tuned as I pull a few cards. It's Lionsgate, y'all. It's the portal of the sun in Leo lining up with the Sirius star. And it is a portal opening that has to do with expansion in consciousness, star being extraterrestrial, spirit guide, angel, spirit experiences, an awakening, and it's also a time of manifestation, abundance, healing, letting go of what no longer serves us and receiving the new blessings, the new downloads. So I'm definitely feeling a money abundance manifestation vibration for this week ahead on the planet. It's a time of creation. I'm feeling Sandalphon, which is Archangel Sandalphon, which is an angel associated with bringing our prayers to heaven or connecting to the higher planes and bringing our intentions to a higher state of consciousness and also of musical expression. Ooh, and I'm pulling Michael, Archangel Michael, angel card. Okay, okay. And let's see what other cards we shall pull for this week. Pull some tarot cards. And so I'm feeling like there's a lot of opportunities being offered to us this week, y'all. It is a time of magic and amplification and downloads and setting ourselves free, being able to operate on just a higher level, being able to operate on a higher level. All right, what do we need to know this week? Spirits, what do we need to know this week? One more shuffle. Okay, I have this down, death, the chariot, queen of pentacles. There's the abundance, yes. And nine of wands. Using the classic universal weight. Here's Archangel Michael. Yes, and I banged that against the microphone. Sorry about that. I also got Angel of Purity. So this week, folks, Archangel Michael swoops in and he's offering helping you steer clear of what no longer serves you. And for many of us, there might be something having to do with clearing out old debt, clearing out old financial burdens in order to be more free and have the ability to make some new decisions that involve finances and financial freedom. And now, tuning to the cards, I feel a message for this week coming from the cards are relief from suffering. You have opportunities this week to clear out not just debt, but channels of energy that no longer serves you, that might have to do with, I want to say like unclean energy. And here we come back to the purity. And I don't mean like in a, traditional dogmatic sense of unclean energy. What I mean is anything that is um energetically not for the highest good, energetically not aligned with you in such a way that it's supporting you on your journey. Yeah, we got some toxic energy on the earth. We got some corrupted energy on the earth. There's also energy that isn't, quote, corrupted or quote toxic. What is toxic? What is corrupted? I feel like a helpful definition goes back to letting go of what is not serving you on your path. So this is a week when we have an opportunity to take a look at our finances, to take a look at our social circles, to take a look at our health and well-being and what we do for our financial management, and let go of things that aren't for you. Cherry is our challenge card. I feel this week a lot of people will be taking trips. There's a lot of actual movement happening. Be sure and slow down and have time for you. There's new money-making opportunities being offered from the higher realms and being activated in our higher consciousness this week. And take time to reflect on your goals, dreams, visions. And I feel a really important message that's coming through is to release old structures for finances, such as how you kept track of your money and your specific goals for finances that need to be revised. So what in my financial plan needs to be revised? And that might look like needing to look at, am I on track or not? What could I do to um, break free from some different spending habits? But also there's new avenues for how to invoke the universal flow of abundance in your life that want to be open this week. So allow yourself to be open to different avenues of income sources, new jobs, new side jobs, new creative projects, new avenues through different people that you didn't think of before. You can sort of do both at the same time this week, and it's the Lionsgate energy. You're jumping, you're shifting, and there's a big jump from I don't have enough, and how am I going to do this to oh, this is what it feels like. So it's from worrying about it to just operating on operating on the frequency of I have it. I am expressing, I am feeling this flow of abundance. Queen of Pentacles is your guidance card. So here's that feminine abundance, right? So I feel like with the Queen of Pentacles, y'all, um, for a lot of us, it's time to stop thinking about it and do it. It's time to take action aligned with what we know is in our highest good, and you being able to let go of what no longer serves you is part of how this can have the space to, so you have the space in order to do this. So it's not just about taking action. It's funny, the whole podcast today was about the receptive intelligence and support in how we co-create. So I feel like with this week, there's also it's time to stop thinking about it and start moving the energy forward. And how do we do that? The Queen of Pentacles manifests by using her wisdom to allow things to flow. So take action that is in alignment with allowing. Um, you might need to put your money where your mouth is. You might need to be more active and invoke that yang initiative kind of part of your being by actually taking a step forward, and partner this with allowing and letting go and tuning your frequency to the state that you want to be in, which is that receptivity, that allowing and letting go and being in that receptive state, in that expectant state as a part of your practice this week. It doesn't happen all at once, but there are changes happening this week. So it feels like a small step or being in alignment with um, how you do things in a different way, your process. In other words, don't just say you're going to do it, and do it with your intention having been set and partnering with that part of you that knows you don't have to do everything, partnering with that part of you that is the infinite inner wisdom that understands how to allow that glacier to melt in order to create the ridge and the mountain and the valley. Nine of Wands is our final result card for this week. So I feel like for this week, we've turned a page. There's going to be a lot of us who have realized a goal, realized a dream, moved forward on some step of a multi-part dream, vision, goal they wanted to manifest, and there's more to do. So pace yourself. Like that glacier taking thousands of years, it didn't just get slapped down the mountain. Nothing would have happened, right? It slowly flowed down the mountain and carved into the mountain and carved into the valley and slowly picked up that sediment. So think about one step after another. You are moving in the right direction, and be patient. Set your intention to be patient with the time and not have unrealistic expectations of how to get something overnight when it's really not an overnight thing. It's really more of a multi-week, multi-month, multi-year thing. Um, Open yourself to the possibility that the timeline might shift. And maybe it is quick. Maybe what you're working on is quick, but whatever it is, be open to adapting the flow according to what is a natural flow on the time space continuum. What is a natural flow that wants to happen? I will pull a star seed, working your light card, oracle card. Love them. Rebecca Campbell, my star seed and starry listeners and viewers out there. Mirror who or what is triggering you. Your life is a mirror of your energy. And I feel like a message from this card as well is take space and time to understand your emotional needs, not just your physical, not just your mental. And as you do this, you're able to unpack what is truly bothering you so that you can partner with Archangel Michael. You can partner with the Syrians and the Pleiadians and the Andromedons and Arcturians, and to be able to let go of what no longer serves you. It could be an internal emotional piece. And that's part of our energy hygiene too. That's part of our mind, body, spirit hygiene, is giving ourselves that emotional oil change, whether it be journaling or talking to a friend or doing some reflective uh, reflection time. Be sure and tune into your emotional you and take care of that part as well. I want to thank you so much for tuning into this collective reading. Thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. And I look forward to connecting with you next group video or session. Take care.